Sick of seeing your mates win while you're still stuck in the same spot? Today I'm showing you exactly how to stop comparing yourself and finally start feeling proud of your own progress. Look, you've picked your goals, built some solid habits, and started kicking procrastination. That's massive, but now something else is popping up. Every time you scroll through socials or catch up with your mates, you still feel miles behind. 1 second you're proud of your small wins, then bam, someone posts about their promotion, new car, or a house, and suddenly you feel like you're failing again. Here's the brutal truth nobody tells you. Comparison is one of the biggest reasons young guys get stuck. It's invisible, it's toxic, and it steals your momentum right when you're finally making progress. Let me share something real quick. I didn't get my driver's license until I was 23. Yeah, I know, pretty late compared to most of my mates. The truth is, I was terrified. I've been in a lot of bad car accidents as a passenger, and the thought of being responsible for somebody else's life, other people's safety on the road, scared the absolute hell out of me. So I kept putting it off. But here's where comparison kicked in, and hard. Watching all my mates, even my younger brothers, getting their licenses, buying cars, just moving on with their lives, started to make me feel seriously left behind. Every time they pulled up in their cars, I felt this sharp reminder of what I didn't have. Eventually, that uncomfortable feeling, it actually pushed me to take action. But here's the catch. Instead of realizing I was only competing with myself and I just needed something simple and affordable, I let comparison cloud my judgment. I rushed out and I bought a car I could barely afford, thinking a nice car would somehow help me catch up to everyone else. What did that leave me with? Shiny set of wheels I couldn't afford, monthly repayments that drained my wallet, absolutely zero cash left to actually enjoy going out with my mates or actually taking trips. I'd won the comparison game temporarily, but I'd lost my financial freedom and my peace of mind. See, comparison can push you forward, sure, but if you let it control your choices, it will drag you backward just as fast. If I'd stopped for a moment and clearly defined what success actually looked like for me, rather than chasing someone else's idea of it, I'd have made a smarter choice, avoided financial stress, and still got to where I wanted to be, just without the burden. That's why defining your own game clearly is so crucial. Stick with me, I'll show exactly how I escaped this trap. Before we break free, let's get 3 key facts straight. Fact number 1, most people's online persona is their highlight reel. It's not real life. No one posts arguments with their girlfriend, nights spent anxious, or failed job applications. You only ever see people's wins. Fact number 2, comparison is mostly driven by insecurity. Your brain compares because it lacks its own clear definition of success. In fact number 3, everyone's secretly comparing themselves to. You're comparing yourself to your mates, but they're busy comparing themselves to someone else. It's an endless cycle, and nobody wins. Knowing this instantly diffuses comparison's power, but knowing isn't enough. You need practical tools. Don't skip ahead. Step 3 alone is the game changer. Here's my 3-step, no bullshit method to beat comparison. Clearly define your own game. You can't win at life if you're stuck playing someone else's game. Think about it. Why does seeing a mate's new car, promotion, or flashy lifestyle make you feel like crap? Because you're subconsciously chasing their version of success and not yours. For ages, I bought into this idea that success meant flashy cars, expensive clothes, and showing off to my mates. Deep down, didn't actually care about any of that. What really mattered to me was simple. Having enough money in the bank that I never felt stressed checking my balance. Getting fit enough that I felt genuinely good, not just looking good in a photo, and learning practical skills I actually value, not just chasing side hustles for the sake of hustle culture. But let's stop for a sec. There's something really important here. Hustle culture tells you that if you're not grinding 24/7 or building a side hustle, you're failing. But that's complete bullshit. You're trying to force yourself into side hustles. Grinding constantly is just crushing your motivation, draining your discipline, or burning you out. Then one of these is probably true. You're chasing something you don't actually care about and you have no passion for. You're going after something you're not ready for yet. You've got some kind of skill gap. Or, and this is really important, you're chasing something that just isn't right for you. And that's completely okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're trying to chase somebody else's idea of success without any passion, skills, or authenticity. It's like playing their game without even knowing the rules, blindfolded with one arm tied behind your back. Let this be a prompt to you. Take 2 minutes out of your time today. Write down just 3 things you genuinely care about. Not stuff your mates think is cool, not stuff social media tells you to care about, not hustle culture garbage, just 3 real, genuine things that will make you feel proud and successful if you achieve them. Because here's the truth. You can't hit a target if you don't know where it is. Step 2 is really straightforward. Ruthlessly filter your inputs. Your environment shapes your mind. If your Instagram or TikTok feed makes you feel worse, mute, unfollow, or just delete the ads. This isn't cutting people off. It's just creating space to actually focus on yourself. Fill that gap with positive, constructive stuff. Educational content, tutorials, people who motivate you to move forward. not sideways, and especially not backwards. Here's a quick stat to kind of prove my point. Studies have shown roughly half of young adults say social media makes them feel worse about their lives. I'll share a trick that makes you immune to comparison. Now, this step is the one that you absolutely can't miss. Play your game and take real immediate action. All right, you've defined your game. Awesome. Now it's time to actually play it. Knowing what matters to you means nothing if you don't start taking immediate action towards it. Let me break it down with a realistic scenario about a guy named Jake, someone just like you who took these steps. Jake sat down and defined exactly what mattered to him most. He wanted to buy his own home. He wanted a high-paying six-figure job. He wanted to regularly catch up with his mates at least twice a week without feeling anxious about it or flaking out. And importantly, he realized a side hustle just wasn't for him. It drained him more than it energized him. So what did Jake do next? First, he took the home ownership goal seriously. Instead of vaguely dreaming about it or feeling overwhelmed, he immediately booked an appointment with a mortgage broker. Here in Australia, there are heaps of brokers who literally charge nothing for a consultation. When Jake sat down with the broker, the news wasn't easy to swallow. Mate, you'll probably need about 80 grand to comfortably get a home loan kind of thing. On Jake's current salary, that was a massive, daunting amount and might take him about 10 years if he stayed on his current path. Jake could have easily spiraled right here, right? But he didn't, because he defined his game. He knew exactly what success looked like to him. Instead of giving up, he moved to step 2, getting that higher paying job. With a clear target, a better paying job, Jake realized he needed a more valuable skill to get that better paying job. Did he complain about not knowing where to start? No. Jake immediately picked a skill he knew was high paying and he committed to learning it. Maybe it was learning some coding basics. Maybe it was becoming certified in project management. Point is, Jake acted immediately. Jake focused on improving his skills enough to land a higher paying job. And this massively cut down the timeline for his home ownership goal. Every extra dollar was proof that playing his own game rather than somebody else's actually works. Then there was his third goal, reconnecting with mates. Because Jake clearly defined this part of his success, he immediately started organizing bi-weekly events. Nothing fancy, just simple stuff like pizza nights or watching the footy together. Every time Jake hung out with his mates without flaking and allowing his anxiety to win, he felt successful. His life was genuinely richer for it. And the side hustle he ditched, he stopped feeling guilty about it. He realized chasing someone else's version of hustle culture success had been holding him back, draining energy from goals he genuinely cared about. Dropping the side hustle actually freed him up to genuinely succeed. Jake was winning at life because he defined his own game, took real practical steps towards it. Steps he could actually see, feel, and measure. And you might think, sure, but Jake knew exactly what to do. What if I don't? Well, here's the secret. Neither did Jake at first, but he got honest with himself and genuinely gave himself the time to figure it out. Once he had a rough idea, he asked somebody who already achieved what Jake wanted, owning a home, landing a solid job, and keeping friendships together. Somebody who could mentor and coach him. If you don't have someone in your immediate circle, that's okay, but I'd highly recommend finding someone who can mentor you. Could even be someone who you know who is successful in the way you want to be. Or even drop your question right here in the comments. I'll reply personally. Picture yourself 3 months from today. Not years, just 3 months. You've sat down, you've spoken to someone who knows how buying a house actually works. You've got a clear savings goal. You might not have 80K yet, but you've started to build momentum and your savings are visibly growing. You're working on learning a new skill to level up your income, and each week you're genuinely seeing progress. Maybe you've even landed a better paying job or a raise. You're regularly seeing your mates because you made a simple but effective plan for it, and it feels genuinely good. No more flaking, no more guilt. Best of all, you've stopped chasing side hustles or random goals you don't actually care about. You're clear-headed, calm, and confident because you know exactly what success means to you, and you're making real-world moves towards it every single day. Here's a quick recap. Comparison steals joy because you're chasing someone else's version of success. Clearly define your game. What actually matters to you. Take immediate, practical action. Speak to a broker, learn a skill, or organize a simple catch-up with your mates. Find a mentor, or ask someone who's further ahead for clear next steps. Right now, go comment below just one thing that genuinely matters to you, not what you're supposed to care about. I'll reply with a personal suggestion to help you take the first actionable step. Don't forget, hit subscribe. Next video, I'll be breaking down how to stay disciplined even when your schedule's chaotic. And remember, progress over perfection.